Mr. Fletcher, another question on the in an interview with the Los Angeles Times on April 21st, you said that you told the Associated Press that the American government has created weather tampering techniques so that the New World Order will be able to starve millions of Americans and to control the rest. Would you explain what you were trying to say?
Well, what I was trying to say is exactly what I said. There is weather control techniques. We have a complete package on that, which I did not bring, but I certainly will see to it that it is brought in for the record. Number one, the entire patents on the equipment. Number two, Senator Claiborne Pell's complete statement and story of his own that not only does it exist, but that we even utilize it as far back as the Vietnam War. You might want to touch base with Senator Pell.
I just want to repeat before I turn to
question. Yes, but we do have all that information.
You're saying the government has created weather tampering techniques so that the, quote, New World Order will be able to starve millions of Americans.
Worldwide.
Millions of Americans, and to control the rest.
Yes, sir, and that's my belief. As
All right, guys, welcome in, welcome back. February 12th, 2023, we made it to February. Still reporting for FEMA Region 7. Yeah, I know, I just had a glitch, kind of glitched out here. Let me try to get in the main screen, see what's going on with this stream here. All right, give me 1 second. Let me look what's going on here. I got a mega headache, man. We had crystal clear blue skies for the last 2 days in Missouri. And then about 4 or 5 hours ago, here comes a bunch of aircraft. And now I got a mega headache. And it's all cloudy and nasty and looks like spider webs in the sky. Yeah, it looks like we're still going there. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I'm trying to get this ready. I've had such a headache, man. Hopefully I can read the articles. Give me 1 second. Just trying to fix everything. Forgot to do that. All right, I think I'm about ready to go here. Yeah, man, whatever they released definitely is affecting me, man. I'm really kind of funky right now. Let me make sure I got chat going. Chat's going. Yeah, congratulations, Chiefs. I didn't watch I watched just a couple minutes of it. I don't do the halftime shows or nothing like that. I don't even like football. I quit watching football quite a while back. Yeah, I felt really good this morning. Now I feel like crap. All right, here we go. We're going to hit some articles. We'll get into 16-day forecast. Look at this vortex flying around the Carolinas and Virginia. Let me toggle the data here. We got winter storm warnings and watches over Tennessee, over Arizona, Colorado watches, Oregon, Washington, California. Flood warnings all down to the south. Look at this thing spinning around, man. It's like a Lando cane. We'll jump into these maps here. We'll hit a few of the weather headlines. I want to check the power outage map real quick first. So yeah, over here in Virginia, we got 10,000 without power, 3,000 North Carolina. Not too many there in but we got ice coming in, so that could change. I know I noticed we're not getting hardly any, my notifications are hardly going out anymore. All right, let's hit some articles here. Winter storm warnings in effect for eastern Tennessee, which we just showed you that little spin up there. Could be some ice. We'll see it a little bit better once we get into the tropical tidbits. We got a high impact storm getting ready to hit Colorado this week, which most of this stuff we're going to find out once we get into the 16-day forecast. We'll try to blast through here just because, man, I can't see good. My head hurts. Surge of warmth to send temperatures to April-like levels in the Northeast. So people up in the Northeast, residents are in for a mild weekend, 50 to 30 degrees above average. Just like we had here over the Central Plains. But then here comes the aircraft. Here comes the changes. Look at the jet streams all the way up into Canada. We'll check all this out here. Over in the UK, man, they got the storm calling the beast from the east. Even in Ireland, they're calling it the beast from the east. These are all the leftovers from all the storms that hit us. Parts of the UK face snow, temperatures as low as minus 11 Celsius. As the beast of the east returns. You know, everything's the beast. Everything's good or evil now. Yep, and here even for Ireland, they issue a beast from the east update after unusual weather event strikes. They're saying Ireland's braced for a potential repeat of the grim beast from the east cold snap. A sudden stratospheric warming event hits this week. Of course, because we've been documenting it. We can go right now and look at the temperatures and see there's a big heating event right over the Russia area. And it's got all the cold air parked right over Greenland, Iceland, Norway, all over the UK. They'll be pushing that thing around. Coming out of South Africa, disaster management on high alert due to severe weather. You know, all these weather events, man, they're all tied together in one way or another. Heavy rains continue to wreak havoc across the country, causing untold damages. Submerged vehicles, trapped homeowners on roof, collapsed walls, decimated shacks and houses. You know, they've been getting hammered. Everybody gets hammered. And then they want to give it a name and tax you on it. Everything else. Now the big earthquake that happened, now death tolls over 33,000. It's going to be more, man. These people have been decimated with wars and everything else now to top this off. You know, we all think we got it bad, man. These people definitely have it bad. We got a winter storm threatens parts of the Atlantic Canada with 30 plus centimeters of snow. We got dramatic photos show Lake Oroville's rise after the epic storms. Lake Oroville, a key component of California's water supply, looks noticeably fuller after a series of January storms. The atmospheric rivers dumped trillions of gallons of moisture on the state, spurring widespread flooding, destruction, healthy boost to the snowpack. It was at 68% of its capacity, up 28% for 2 months prior, according to the state data. But see, they want you to still conserve water because they're going to be dumping the water back out into the ocean like they did in 2018, 2019, 2021. Everything's by design. We went over this article a couple times. You know, nobody gets to vote on what they're doing to our skies. This came out on February 11th, yesterday. Psychics propose blasting moon dust into space to fix climate change. I just said the key word. They'll probably take the video down now. So this theoretical astrophysicists are here to fix it with lunar dust and moon cannons. So apparently they want to put some moon cannons up on the moon and blast some dust down. I mean, there's no end to what these people want to do and all the weird stuff that they come up with. Let me get a drink here. Astronomers believe green lights seen over Hawaii are lasers from a Chinese satellite. The National Astronomical Observatory of Japan posted a video online and a string of lights filmed in the sky by a camera on Mauna Kea, Hawaii's tallest mountain, on the 28th. Researchers said that the IceCat 2 satellite laser used to monitor sea ice force was responsible for the light show. Look, you know, we got all kinds of technology out here that can do this. Then you got to watch what you say because, you know, they'll call it some kind of conspiracy even though it's all fact. Oh man, we got more massacres going on. Area cattle massacre. Feds gunned down 65 cows, leave them to rot. Just a war on the food. 100 ducks reportedly found dead at Victoria's Bell Swamp. Like, man, this stuff's just every week, man. You can't get around all these articles. They're just always here. And you got more mad scientist stuff going on. German doctors are attempting to reverse death and resurrect humans. You know, you have the Department of Defense and Homeland Security. They come up with that whole thing with the zombie apocalypse, like they practice for it. They're just getting one step closer. Yeah, we got mad scientists everywhere. Probably go over that later. Bunch of fires going on down in Queensland. Evacuations at Montrose, northwest of Brisbane. 50 bushfires burn across Queensland. Scorching day. See, the same thing. This will happen here on the west coast coming into spring. The game plan's the same everywhere. More news on that. Tons of news on that. Always blame it on lightning. Norfolk Island had avoided the strongest wind, but still endured a wild night of widespread damage. Cyclone Gabriel passed directly over Australia's territory. We had all them cyclones and stuff lined up. I think I still may even have it might be loaded. So now we got another one coming. We'll look at that in a minute. See, now they're still about in the same place here. We got Tropical Storm Dagani, not going to hit nothing. Cyclone Freddy, not going to really hit nothing. That one's already on land. In fact, I think I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in 16-day forecast, man. My head is just pounding right now from whatever they just put in the skies. All right, so here we are. We're looking at the next 2 weeks worth of precipitation. We can see the target zones. Washington, Oregon, a little bit through Idaho, down through Utah, Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico, and then the big target zone right over Kentucky, Tennessee, right up through the Ohio Valley. Little spot there up in northern Missouri. These are basically, we haven't had any new bunker fuel operations, so the weather pattern is going to be pretty much exactly the same as it has been for the last month. It's only just shifted just a little bit to the east. So we'll go ahead and take this back. And we'll put this on what I need it, and we'll see how we're going to get there. We'll check snow amounts and temperature amounts, see what kind of stuff we got coming in. With that polar vortex way over there, it's going to be, we'll see what they do with that. Anyway, we're going to go up 6 hours at a time. Looks like everybody's getting a little break here starting off just for the East Coast for a minute. I know they just did the aerosol release. Going up into Monday. So it looks like Monday's pretty good for everybody. Unless you're way over there by Nova Scotia. Then a little bit of light stuff coming in. Washington, Oregon. Down through Arizona. Once we get into Tuesday, here's where the other storms start popping off. We get our first good storm coming in right through the Midwest. Up through Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, all the way up into Iowa. So he's going to lay down some pretty good moisture with it. You got a little baby snow on the backside for Nebraska. Still on Tuesday. And it picks up strength as it goes north, just like every other storm that's been through the last 2 weeks. Or even the last month. So you have some heavy wraparound snow through South Dakota, Nebraska, then heavy thunderstorms out ahead of it, going right through, and then straight up, just like every storm has been going for the last month. A little snow coming in on Wednesday for Colorado, and right over into Kansas. This map actually looks pretty light this time around. It's still kind of hanging around through Thursday. And we're starting to get those storms that start popping off down through the Ohio Valley, up through Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, going right up through Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, snow to Wisconsin. A little bit of ice up there. Could be some power outages. See, the storm's just going to kind of hang out right there. Going into Thursday, February 16th. Driving up, look, it's just hanging out there for hours and hours at a time. Refiring up over Alabama, Georgia. And it just refires up again. We're on Friday, February 17th. Finally, it starts kicking off to the East Coast. All the way up. gets burnt out. And then we get another day or two of clear. It looks like here on next Saturday, February 18th, looks the whole map is totally clear. Shouldn't be a plain trail in the sky. We'll see. Look at that. All the way through Saturday, February 18th. Perfectly clear everywhere. A little bit of stuff coming in. Maybe for California, looks like it's going to die out as it hits the coast. Look at this. Back to next Sunday, look wide open. We'll see if this happens. No wind, hardly. No big wind currents, nothing. Still on Sunday, finally a little snow starts to pop off. We'll see the aerosols being deployed down there around the Bajas. Going into Monday, still not a whole lot going on. A little snow for the upper northwest. And here pretty soon it'll start firing back off in the same spots. Going Monday, February 20th, 21st. Like I'm just kind of zinging through some of these because there's not a whole lot to talk about. Then here comes our next bigger system on February 21st. Snow starting in the same spot the last 3 systems started. Now these storms are starting a little bit more to the upper northwest instead of starting down here. It looks like they're going to start far western Texas. Still not a lot of winds to drive down though for any kind of tornadic activity, at least from what it looks like now. And this storm's going to turn into a little bit bigger storm here on the 21st. Snow on the backside. Pretty good thunderstorms and heavy thunderstorms for Kentucky. Southwest Missouri. You know, pretty much the New Madrid zone. Looks like we could pick up some pretty good snow for Iowa around the 21st. But these storms are just kind of hanging out for quite a while in the same areas, which is going to cause a little bit of flood zones. Could be a little bit more ice. Could be heavy. These are going to be heavy thunderstorms. We'll look at the convective energy when these get closer. And then it really starts pounding on Wednesday, February 22nd. Your ground's already going to be saturated. Now you got more heavy rain bombs coming in. Also some snow and ice up to the north. So we're going to get some pretty good flooding coming in. And look at that, fires right back up over Louisiana, Arkansas. This is where they've mainly been starting up over the last month. So it's going to be pretty rainy, especially right here for this area. Look at that, just rain bomb after rain bomb. We're on Wednesday, February 22nd. And then wham, man, here it comes firing back up big time again on the 23rd. More rain bombs. Tennessee, Kentucky, ice. Same areas. So it looks like the targets are really Kentucky, Tennessee. You're the main targets of the next 2 weeks. And then wham, we got a big ice storm coming. So this is going to be a storm they'll be talking about coming in around Thursday, February 23rd for New York. I mean, everywhere up here, all the way up from Georgia all the way up into the northeast. We're going to get some power outages with that. Some winds, but still not super big winds. It's like they turned the wind machine off. So it's going to be a pretty good storm coming in around February 22nd, going all the way into 23rd, probably into the 24th. Ice storm for Nova Scotia there. A little bit of snow for the west. It looks like this 2 weeks we got coming, man, we're going to have some just main moisture in the center of the country, and everybody else is going to kind of get a break. Friday, February 24th, nothing really to talk about. Little storms there on the southeast, northwest. Just kind of getting through here. Kind of a weird little system here on the 25th. little snow for Iowa and Wisconsin, Illinois, and then here we go, firing back up at the same spots again. Look at this, same exact spots. This is not going to change till we get the next bunker fuel operation out there. So definitely the same areas are going to keep getting smothered with rain bombs. Kind of wild, it's showing a little snow down there for southern Missouri on the 26th. So yeah, you guys right here, you're the big time targets for this next 2 weeks. And then the upper Northeast will get all the leftovers. Going into February 26th. These will be some pretty strong storms around the 27th for the East Coast. And we're just going in another break. This is probably going to be the clearest month for a February I can even remember for a long time. Look at that, totally clear. Let me put this on snow, just see if there's any kind of a snow anywhere. Whoa, I know we're not getting no 20 inches there in Missouri and Iowa. Showing 63 inches of snow, going all the way up to 119 inches of snow up in British Columbia. You got some 34, 22-inch snows up in Canada. That's where that big storm is going to be hitting. 14, 16 inches of snow possible. I don't really believe these snow models too much. And while we're here, let's just go ahead and check the temperatures and see if we got any kind of super cold coming in. Let me back it up. We'll just let this thing play forward, and if I see something brutal, we'll stop and talk about it. Here's that super cold for Canada. Everything's looking mild. Mild. Pretty good cold. So we got a pretty good cold front dipping down around the 17th. You're looking at -10 for Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota. -8 up in the mountains of Colorado. Good little cold front dipping down, not super cold, 30s around the 18th, and warms right back up. So really, man, here comes a big cold blob. Yeah, right around the 21st, that's when that big cold blob for Canada is going to be coming in. That's going to dip down. That's going to bring some pretty cold temperatures for most of the United States here on the 22nd. Down into the 20s. Got some -4s there in the Dakotas. So really, man, this is going to be a not too bad a forecast unless you live in Kentucky or Tennessee or southern Missouri. You know, this whole Ohio Valley zone, they're the targets. Let's go ahead and check some other areas here. Take a look at the New Zealand, man. They're kind of getting hit on the opposite side of the island. Normally, I've never seen that much moisture showing up on that side of the island before. That's kind of strange. Let's go ahead and square up on Australia. They got the fires going, all that stuff. Yeah, they're going to dry them out a little bit. We got some moisture on the east coast. A little to the north. I should have looked to see where all the fires were. Tasmania, the southern part of Tasmania is going to get hit pretty good. Try Europe. You can see Iceland up there is going to get slammed. Looks like Norway is getting a break. It's even going farther up into the northeast. Northern UK is going to get quite a bit of moisture. The west side of Ireland quite a bit of moisture. So that's going to be the beast from the east storm. And we'll check out East Asia. Japan's finally winding down. Not a whole lot for China. Alright, so that's all pretty good on that. Man, I completely spaced out what I was going to do. Let me go ahead and change this to see if I can catch that operation to come in before we got started here. Go check while that's loading. Saying the solar winds went down, but man, my ears are still ringing, still feeling weird. Yesterday we had an X1 class solar flare. It did not produce a CME, but another explosion did. 5 hours after the X flare, a filament of magnetism erupted from the sun's northern hemisphere and hurled a CME. Get a glancing blow likely here in the next day or two. We also had a solar flare radio blackout updated yesterday, February 11th. Earth orbiting satellites detected an X1 class solar flare ionized the top of the Earth's atmosphere, causing a strong shortwave radio blackout over South America. Look at that, the whole South America. Ham radio operators, aviators, mariners have noticed unusual propagation effects below 30 megahertz. All right, let me get rid of that. I just want to crank that off. Turn that on. Let me just look at this real quick. Yeah, I didn't know if it was going to show because not really showing too well, but we can see they're doing some stuff over here off the west coast, down here. Oh yeah, big campaign going on. Coming down through Canada, down through Idaho, Oregon. Anyway, guys, I think my head is just blasted too bad. I think I'm going to go ahead and just shut this thing down. Go try to lay down. We'll try to pick it up tomorrow night. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and call it. Much love out there. Eyes to the sky. We'll try to get into it a little better tomorrow night. Hopefully I'll feel a little better. Anyway, guys, armor on. We'll catch you next time. Much love.